So in this video we want to look at equations with no solution and identity. Now the first thing is, when we say an equation has no solution, let me start from there. An equation is said to have no solution when the variable involved in the equation cannot be determined. For instance, if I say 2x minus 3 is equal to 5, and if after solving it I could not determine the value of s, then this particular equation is said to have no solution. So that is that about that. So maybe at the end of it, maybe I get 3 is equal to 5. There is no value of s that is being determined. However, there are cases whereby we have equation that has infinitely many solutions, and such an equation is known as identity. So I defined identity equation is an equation that is true for all values of the variable. Right? It is an equation that has infinitely many solutions. An identity equation is an equation in which any value you substitute for it, it will be true. True in the sense that any value you substitute for it, the left hand side of the equation will be equal to the right hand side. For instance, if I have, say, 1 over 8x plus 3 over 2, x is equal to what? 8. Any value I substitute for x, it will make the whole of this left hand side to be equal to this right hand side. So this is what we call an identity equation, because it has infinitely many solutions. So I said an equation has infinitely many solutions when it is satisfied by an infinite number of values of the variables involved. Infinite means any value of the variable you substitute, it will work. So in other words, there is no unique solution, and the equation is true for an infinite number of possible values of x. So an example of such is if you have, say, x minus x is equal to 0. If this comes here, it will be what? X is equal to x. So for an equation with infinitely many solutions, the left hand side of the equation will be equal to the right hand side of the equation. Now, but before I proceed, 3 is equal to 5 is not an identity, because 3 and 5 are not the same. So in this particular situation, you see this one has no solution. But if you have, say, 1 is equal to 1, 2 is equal to 2, 3 is equal to 3, 4 is equal to 4, 5 is equal to 5, and so on, then we say that this is an identity equation. The equation that produces this result is an identity equation because it has infinitely many solutions, and it is true for all the values of the variable. So if the variable is x, then it will be true. So let's look at an example under equation with no solution and identity. So look at this question here. This question says solve each equation if the equation has no solution or it is an identity. Write no solution or identity. So there are 3 things we want to look for here. We'll look for it if it has solution. If it doesn't have, we write it. If it's an identity, we write it. So basically we want to determine the nature of the solution of this equation. So let's start from a. So let me put a here. We have 2 into bracket 1 minus x, right, plus 5x will be equal to what? 3 into bracket x plus 1. So let me open this bracket. 2 times 1, that is 2. 2 times minus x, that's minus 2x, right? Then plus 5x will be equal to 3 times x, that's 3x. Then 3 times 1, that is what? 3. So the next thing we need to do is to collect what? Like terms. Okay, so let's bring all x together. So this is minus 2x plus 5x. So 3x is coming in, it will become minus 3x. I have said it several times that whenever a positive number is crossing the equality sign to become minus, will now be equal to what? 3. This is 2 going to this side will be what? Minus what? 2. So minus 2x plus 5x will give us what? 3x. So this is 3x minus 3x will be what? 3 minus 2, 1. So 3x minus 3x, that is 0, is equal to 1. So obviously, since 0 is equal to 1 and they are not equal to each other, this particular solution does not exist. So we put what? No what? Solution. So that is that about that. All right, so there are other methods that you can use in solving this, but basically you discover that the left hand side will not be equal to the right hand side, and the value of x will not be determinable. So that implies that that's no solution. So let's move on to B. So for question B, we have 5w minus 3 into bracket 1 minus w is equal to minus 2 into bracket 3 minus what? W. All right, so let me move this up. So let's write it. We use this minus 3 to open this bracket. Okay, so we have 5w minus 3 times 1, that is minus 3. Then minus 3 times minus w, that's minus times minus, that is plus. 3 times w, that is 3w. Will now be equal to minus 2 times 3, that's minus 6. Minus times minus, that is plus. Right, then 2 times w, that is 2 what? W. The next thing is what? We collect like terms. So if we collect like terms, we have 5w plus 3w. 2w is coming, is crossing the equality sign, minus 2w will be equal to minus 6. Minus 3 is going to this side, plus what? 3. 5w plus 3w, that will give us what? 8w. And 8w minus 2w, that will give us what? 6w. It's got to what? Minus 6 plus 3, that will give us what? Minus 3. So we divide both sides by the coefficient of w, which is 6, to get w. Divided by 6, divided by 6, 6 cancels 6. So w will be minus 3 divided by 6, and that will give us what? Minus 1 over 2. So this one has a solution. So it has one solution, which is what? The solution is what? Minus 1 over 2. What does that imply? If we substitute minus 1 over 2 in this original equation, this left hand side, right, will be equal to this what? Right hand side value. Okay, so let's go to C. All right, so let me see where I can put C. Yeah, I think I can put C up here. Is it possible? Okay, let me see if I can recall it. 1 over 2 into bracket 8y minus 6. Okay, so for C, we have 1 over 2 into bracket what? 8y minus 6, then is equal to what? 5y minus into bracket y plus 3. So let's confirm before I start solving. All right, so you can see. So now what we want to do is we want to solve this and make our deduction. So first of all, what we do is either we use this minus 1 over 2 to open this bracket. Yeah, we can do it. So if I want to rewrite this can be written as 1 over 2, right, into bracket 8y minus 6 over 1 is got to what? 5y. Let me open this bracket. Minus y, this is just like saying minus 1. There's an invisible one, so it's like minus 1 into bracket y plus 3. So there's an invisible one here. That's why when you use the invisible one to open the bracket, that's when the bracket gets opened. So this one will now be 1 times everything here will give us 8y minus 6, then 2 times 1 is equal to 2. Will now give us what? 5y minus 1 times y, that is minus 1y, or minus y, minus times plus, that is minus 1 times 3, that is 3. So what's the next thing we do is we cross multiply. Don't forget the whole of this is over 1. So if we cross multiply, we have what? 8y minus 6 will give us 2 into bracket 5y minus y minus what? 3. So we have what? 8y minus 6 now give us 2 times 5y, that is 10y, right? 2 times minus y minus 2y, right? Then 2 times minus 3 minus 6. Pardon me, I was supposed to even evaluate this. 5y minus y should give us 4y, but it doesn't change whatever it is we have gotten here. So we have what? 8y minus 6 will give us 10y minus 2y, that is 8y, right? Then minus 6. Obviously, if you look at the left hand side, we've got 8y minus 6 in both cases. Since the equation on the left is equal to the equation on the right. It implies that if I eliminate both of them, I will get 0 on both sides. So it implies that this equation is an identity. That is, it has infinitely many solutions. But let me solve it further. So let me call it like terms. I have what, 8y. This one is coming here minus what, 8y. Will now be what, minus 6. Then this one is coming here plus 6. 8y minus 8y, 0 is equal to 0. So that implies that the original equation is an identity. So the equation, right, is an what, identity, right, and what, and has infinitely, right, many solutions. Right, I want to believe this video has helped someone. Thank you for watching the video and see you in the next video. Bye bye.